Hey everybody, this is vlog 19, and if you haven't noticed already, I have no mustache. I cut my mustache off last night. um, it's kind of a strange move. Normally, especially as winter shows up, I try to keep as much facial hair as possible, but my mustache had been irritating me for, I don't know, on and off for a while now, and I was trimming it up last night, and I don't know what it was. For some reason, I just felt like, you know what, let's just chop it all off. You know, do something drastic. Because a lot of times when I do drastic changes to my head, like when I cut my hair or I trim my beard or mustache or whatever, I usually do it in an effort to have it be a type of I don't know, a change in mindset allows me to you know, think about not think about, but it's just nice for a change, I guess. It's still strange to look at myself in the mirror. It's strange to look at myself on this webcam. It's actually really stranger anyway, because with my beard, it's blending in with my dark colored shirt, my brown coats shirt. Yay, Firefly. Brown coat for life. But yeah, so it almost doesn't look like, it's like my face stops right here. But no, it goes down further. The beard's getting pretty thick, which is good, because hopefully the cold weather that we'll get this year will actually be cold, unlike last year and early this year in January and February, where it was just like, it was pathetic. I mean, last year we didn't have winter. I think I put on my heavy coat like twice, maybe 3 times, and I only ever put that on if it's really freaking cold, because it's an extremely warm jacket. I mean, it's a real heavy duty thing. So, I mean, that's something you put on when it's snowing outside and you're going outside to shovel snow, or you're going outside and to walk around in the snow while it's snowing and the wind's blowing at like 20 miles an hour. So it's that kind of jacket. Which, to tell you the truth, I can't even remember where I got it from. It might be like Eddie Bauer or LL Bean. I don't know, one of those outdoorish companies. I apologize if you can hear that in the background, that barking noise. That's the family dog. When there's really nobody in the house, because it's just me right now, when there's nobody in the house, especially downstairs, even though my dog is she's deaf, so she reacts to visual stimuli and vibrations. You know, like she can feel certain things you know, if somebody's walking up behind her, she can feel the vibration. She turn around and look at you. But yeah, she has no concept of hearing. At least we think. Occasionally, she actually does seem like she actually hears, but we're not really sure how that works, because she's also gotten to the point where now she barks and her volume level is, she doesn't know how to bark, you know, softly anymore. You know, most dogs have a range of volume in their bark, but she just is always on 11 whenever she's barking. So she's just barking as loud as possible. So if you can hear that, I apologize. I have no real way of shutting her up outside of going down there and being down there with her, or bringing her up here and having her chill out up here. But I really don't like her in my room because she tends to like to crawl under where I have electric cables, and that makes me nervous. You know, that she's gonna, not that she's gonna hurt herself, but that, you know, she might unplug something that doesn't need to be unplugged, or she just likes getting into these little crevices and stuff, and it just irritates me, I guess. But anyway, yeah, that's our dog. Her name is her birthday was on the 18th. Was it the 18th? Yeah, I think it was the 18th. She was 13 years old. She's an old dog, but that's probably why she has no hearing. But she's a good dog. Very good dog. In the past, I've had we had 2 golden retrievers. The first one was my dog. Well, it was still the family dog, but I was the only child at the time, and his name was Zeke. Zeke, Zeke, and he was a great dog, but he unfortunately had to be put down because of I don't really remember because I was so young. I was like 4. it's and that was when we were living in Pennsylvania. So that's a long time from now, or a long time since then. But then when we moved to North Carolina, we got another dog. I can't remember if we got Duke. We named him Duke, and we named him Duke after John Wayne, actually, because he was known as the Duke. Either in one of his movies or he just had that nickname as being the Duke. I'm not entirely sure on that one. But yeah, we called him Duke because of John Wayne. We all like the John Wayne movies, so. And again, when we got him, I was still very young, so I don't really remember. And we had him for a fair amount of time, and then we moved to this house, and then he was around for a couple years, and then we had to put him down as well because of some degenerative something that he had, and basically he was in pain, and so we took away the pain. Had him euthanized. So I remember actually because I was in high school. I think I was in high school, or yeah, I think I had to be in high school. I can't remember. Was it either high school or it was junior high? Because I mean I really remember when we had to put him down, because I was really sad. I felt bad. Like I felt like I hadn't, been a good dog owner, because he was kind of like my dog. Because when we got him, I was old enough to understand old enough to understand ownership and what have you. And he was such a great dog. He was actually related to Zeke. He was Zeke's nephew or something. And that kind of stuff matters in the dog breeders world, but I don't no idea what that means. It has really no meaning, unless you're like a dog breeder. But after Duke, and by then I had 2 sisters. It was 13 years ago, that we got Millie, and she was named Millie because we got her in the year 2000, and she or we got her in 1999, basically, because we got her in December of '99, and we named her Millie after the millennium, because year 2000 was the millennium, so we named her Millie, or Millennium, and then we just shortened it because millennium is something that's difficult to say. If you try saying millennium multiple times really, really fast, the word will quickly lose its meaning and you won't be able to say it right. But this is one hell of a rambling video, I'll tell you what. And this really has nothing to do with my mental illness, but hey, some good, I have no one to talk to, so I'm talking to the camera, or rather, I'm not really just talking to the camera, I'm talking to you guys, the people who watch my videos, which, thank you for watching my videos, I appreciate it. Leave a comment, or just, you don't even have to do that, you can just hit the like button. I'm basically here to talk about not just my mental illnesses. It's not the only reason I created this blog. I mean, it's the main reason, because I wanted to create it to reduce, to have other people see it and have it reduce the stigma of mental illness that a lot of people have, because mental illness a lot of times is seen as being, that someone is a schizophrenic, they must be crazy or insane, and you have to understand that crazy and insane are two entirely different things than being schizophrenic. Most schizophrenics are so terrified of the world that they wouldn't venture out into it. So I don't know. I've never really understood the stigma against mental illnesses, and this is even when I went to college. I studied psychology, and that was one thing I thought I was actually going to go into. But so I learned about all this stuff. Even though I've learned it, and I've written papers on various subjects. Actually, my favorite class in my psychology major was health psychology, and in that we actually talked about various mental illnesses and other mental disorders. So I knew all this, and then when I was diagnosed, I mean, you can't diagnose yourself. That's impossible, especially when it comes to things like schizophrenia and schizoaffective disorder. You can't self-diagnose that. You have to have another party to judge your mental state. And I started out, I was a paranoid schizophrenic. I mean, I had all the symptoms and everything of a paranoid schizophrenic. I had delusions, I had hallucinations. They were all auditory. Very rarely I had I would have delusions and hallucinations visually, but usually they weren't very detailed. Let's just say that. They were more like silhouettes or shadows that I saw, or you can even go as far as maybe call them apparitions that I saw, but they weren't there, and that happened some, but not nearly as much as the auditory. The auditory was the worst, because it just created this constant voice, or not voice, but thousands of voices in my head at the same time. And I've explained in previous videos that I started calling it noise or static, and that I related it to be like being inside of a sports stadium with with a sellout crowd, and instead of just having that dull, loud noise, it was actually everything was comprehensible. Like I could understand everything that every conversation in my head was saying. So literally, there were plenty of times when I was talking that I could not, and I would trip over my words, and I wouldn't speak correctly. I don't want to go as far and say it was aphasia, because I didn't say random words. I just had trouble putting sentences together, because I couldn't even hear my own voice. I couldn't hear myself speak because of these voices in my head. And the voices that I had were never voices that told me to do things. I never had voices like that. These are all just, and they were all ridiculous conversations. I made some of the most ridiculous stuff you can think of. And if you can think of some really ridiculous stuff, I'm pretty sure I've thought of stuff more ridiculous. Because man, I'm just glad that it doesn't happen much anymore. Because having my diagnosis be schizoaffective disorder is mainly because it's the mood component. Schizoaffective deals mainly with mood, and that's really the problem that I have. It's with stress, it's with anxiety, it's with paranoia, and it's with my mood, and the fact that I have major depression. So that's how that works. Well, it took a little bit to get to something, to get to the mental issues. I had to talk about a couple of dogs first. But that's that. And like I said, I might be making some posts more often, maybe daily. I'm not sure, it just depends on how I feel while my parents are away on this trip. Basically, to keep me relatively sane if I'm talking to, and if I have an outlet, and that's what this is. This is an outlet for me. It helps a lot, because it even helps, like before I post this video up to YouTube, I'm gonna review it. Like I'm gonna watch the video, and then I'll upload it. And I don't edit these videos, and I don't edit them. I decided that I wouldn't edit the videos because I wanted the videos to be very true to form. So if I had my brain locked up, like it does a lot, and actually to do these videos is really really hard work for my mind to do, because I have to literally force myself to think and to speak faster than I would if I was normally just describing something. I have to really put effort into it. So that's why sometimes it may seem like, wow, it's taking him a real long time to speak. It almost sometimes may sound like, somebody, or sound like I was intoxicated. And that's not the case. The case is just, it's the processes in my brain are too slow. So when I speak slowly, or I slur my words, or what have you, and that's just the way it is. So, and we're creeping up here on 20 minutes, and my last video was 20 minutes, and I a bunch of nonsense. Well, it wasn't nonsense. It had a lot of meaningful things in it. Nonsense is a word I like to just... Nonsense is like that word that you always use when you don't know what to say. What can you do, right? Hands in the air. What? I'm going the wrong way because the image is mirrored. But anyway, like I said, I hit 20 minutes, so we're gonna shut this down here. But thanks for watching, because I meant to look at the camera when I said that, so I want to look you in the eye. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take it easy.